Bulls Nation, off of a very, very impressive win against the Toronto Raptors, a weakened Toronto Raptors side. Today, we had a game against the Oklahoma City Thunder to see if we can carry over that momentum from Toronto to the OKC Thunder. And we had a very personal reason to get back at the OKC Thunder by giving the Bulls one of their worst losses of the season. And in this game, we finally retaliated and we got our revenge against a young and decent Oklahoma City side. So without further ado, let's talk about the Chicago Bulls versus the OKC Thunder in this video. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? It's the Aidan Sports Show and welcome back to another video. Today we've got a Chicago Bulls versus Oklahoma City Thunder game reaction. The Chicago Bulls tried to carry off their own momentum from Raptors to Thunder, and the Bulls did a very good job in performing and delivering in this game also. But before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Aidan Sports Show YouTube channel. Turn notifications on. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game today and your player of the game for tonight's game. The scoreline for this game was 123 to 102. The Chicago Bulls seeked out malicious revenge on the OKC Thunder after what they did to us in a very, very, very unfortunate terms of events with a 25-point comeback from them the first game around. The Bulls made sure they could not do that this time around, and we got a victory, a good victory in my opinion, over the OKC Thunder. And a revenge game is always a little bit bittersweet when you get that win. So what did the Chicago Bulls do well today? Well, we didn't see the balanced scoring that I often say is the reason why we win, but we did see a few good things from tonight's game. But obviously, we know, as usual, most teams are very short-staffed these days. Most teams do not have their full players. Most teams will suffer from being a little bit older. Most teams will suffer from protocols, personal reasons. There's so many reasons why a lot of these teams are very short-staffed. And OKC Thunder are one of those teams that were short-staffed today. They had no Dort, they had no Al Horford, they had no George Hill. I'm pretty sure there's another player that I'm forgetting as well. So there were 4 players out for the OKC Thunder, significant players that was not getting that didn't play today. So of course, you need to take all those things into consideration. At the end of the day, this is how it works. It's not something that we should be over optimistic about. We beat the OKC Thunder without their best players, but we need to look at how the Bulls performed. And in my opinion, the Bulls performed very, very well in today's game. I thought we did the few things that we often see as bad things for the Chicago Bulls, we saw less of. We got a little bit more rebounds in today's game. We got a little bit less turnovers in this game. We played a little bit more defense in this game. And overall, it might have been easier for us to do that with the OKC side that we versed. But the fact of the matter is, this is another game that will bring us confidence into our next few games, where we still have winnable games to come for the Chicago Bulls. This is going to be a very good motivating game, a game that will bring the Bulls confidence going forward. And that's all you need to see when you have games like this, games that you could potentially lose, or potentially it's a trap game, a game that we expect to win but we just might not win. These games will bring us confidence because we have so many of those trap games coming up that it's going to be interesting to see what the Bulls needs to do. We need to win games like this. I think that's fairly simple. We need to win games where we're expected to win. If we lose games that we're expected to win, we're only feeding the other teams their victories as well. Teams that we're in competition with. So the OKC Thunder came into this 6 out of their last 10, and the Bulls had to do what they had to do against a weakened OKC Thunder side. And that's great to see. And hopefully we can continue to do what we need to do in our future games. So with that being said, let's talk about the individual performers. In this game, the Bulls had a very decent, very good second half. Started off this game very well, which is something that you love to see considering all season we've had slow starts. This game, we had a very good start. We saw some fantastic highlights in the first half. We saw some pretty decent ones in the second half as well. A Zach LaVine posterizer, a Larry Markkinen posterizer, a Thaddeus Young posterizer. But we also did see the OKC Thunder come back within that second quarter. So it's not all sunshines and rainbows if you're a Bulls fan. There are negatives to take away from this game as well. But ultimately, when you get the job done, you get the victory that you need and you move on to the next one. And hopefully we continue to see a very good performance from most of our players in that next game against the Spurs. So, Thaddeus Young, 17 points, 6 assists, 9 rebounds. Once again, very close to a triple-double, extremely close to a double-double. Frustrating to see that he simply can't get that triple-double. He played very well today, only played 22 minutes. I'm very happy that a lot of our players got to see a little bit of rest today as well, considering we have a back-to-back tomorrow. So, I'm very happy with the way that this team played. I'm very happy with how Thaddeus Young played. Again, their center had an amazing game for them. And I think his name is Moses Brown, who had 20 points and 16 rebounds. A very young player looking for game time, very hungry to play. And he did his thing on this team. Did his thing on Wendell, did his thing on Thaddeus Young, did his thing on Larry Marketing. But I thought all of our players did hold their own in today's game as well, which ultimately leads to a very strong positive as well. Then we had Larry Marketing, 22 points, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. I don't believe Larry Marketing had a terrific scoring game in terms of the three-point line today. But again, 22 points was very aggressive in the paint. He made a few layups that I really like to see. Something that I saw against the Miami Heat, he didn't make those layups. In this game, he made those layups, and that really helped boost the team up a little bit more than what than expected from him. We needed to see more from Larry Marketing. I think he's been great since he's came back, to be honest. I thought he's been playing very, very well. He's been driving, he's been aggressive, and he's making his three-point shots at times. I don't think the last 2 games were terrific three-point shooting nights, but when your shots don't fall, you go to the paint, and that's how you get your points. I thought Larry Marketing did very well. Again, he's a scoring offensive player, so I don't expect any less from Larry Marketing, but it's good to see that he's finding his ways to score, not just from the three-point line. That's the best thing you could say about Larry Marketing, is that he's not just scoring from the three-point line. He's not just a catch-and-shoot player anymore. He is a player that can drive, cut to the paint. He is a player that has off-ball movement, and that is beautiful to see, and hopefully we can continue to see that for the rest of the season. Zach LaVine. I mean, what do I have to say about Zach LaVine? 40 points, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 quarters played. I mean, this is just an unbelievable performance from Zach LaVine. This is probably one of his best performances of the season, considering he did this in 3 quarters. This was extremely fun to watch if you love Zach LaVine. If you're a Zach LaVine fan, if you're a Bulls fan, watching Zach LaVine do that to a team is absolutely amazing. Look, they had no way of guarding him. Usually teams, especially the good teams, find ways to guard Zach LaVine, find ways to guard all teams' best players. OKC Thunder simply could not stop Zach LaVine today, and Zach LaVine took massive advantage of that. He only missed 5 shots, extremely efficient. He did his thing out there today, scoring, and that's exactly what you want to see, especially when he wasn't as aggressive against the Raptors. We didn't need him to be Superman against the Raptors, but today he showed up, and he showed up in a big way. And it's good because a lot of our bench players like Kobe White, Archidiakono, Denzel Valentine didn't have terrific scoring games. So Zach LaVine picked up the pieces there as well. Even Patrick Williams, who started. There are so many players that just simply did not have terrific scoring games. So Zach LaVine did very, very well to make sure that at least when those players had disappointment of games, he ended up stepping up for them. So I think that really helped us in the end, because this would have been much closer if he didn't have that 40 points. Satoransky, 13 points, 8 assists, and 2 rebounds. Another very strong game from Tomas Satoransky. You love to see the performances that he's been giving in that starting lineup. 2 very good games from Satoransky. He's playing decent minutes for the Chicago Bulls. He is that playmaker that we need right now, and he's also scoring at a decent level for what I expect from him. He's been playing decently, aggressive, making his open shots. Sometimes he's a bit more aggressive than I would like. There was a layup specifically where he took it over a few people, and it wasn't the best shot. But at the end of the day, I can live with those shots because he's been so effective everywhere else that maybe those shots fall for him, and then in the end, no one's complaining. So I thought it was a very good game from Satoransky. He was definitely one of those players where you could say, wow, without him, we could have struggled. He was definitely part of that. And the last player I'm really going to mention, the last 2 players I'll mention, Wendell Carter, 9 points, 2 assists, 9 rebounds, nearly a double-double for Wendell Carter. I like that possession where he did a post-up and a dunk over a 7'2" player. That is more of what I want to see. I understand that guy's a rookie. He's not he's not the strongest guy on the team, despite his size. But Wendell Carter did exactly what he was supposed to do. Take it in the paint and dunk that ball. Take it into the paint and take a shot. If you get a rebound, go up with it. These are things that I want to see as a norm for Wendell Carter. If he gets an offensive rebound, go up. If you get blocked, you get blocked. You're in the paint. It's a layup. It's a good shot. Go for the shot. And I really want to see Wendell Carter play like a big man. He plays more of a reserve role sometimes, especially when Larry Markkanen's on the court. He's more of that reserve type of guy, the guy that will get, if he's open, he'll take it, but he's not someone that will be in the post taking his shots. He won't be aggressive. And I want to see more. I want to see aggressiveness from Wendell Carter off of the bench, starting wherever he decides his minutes are going to come from. Whenever Billy Donovan decides where his minutes are going to come from, as long as he's aggressive, I'll be happy with Wendell Carter's performances, because I know he could do a lot better than the 4 points and 9 rebounds and not being aggressive at all. I know he's better than that, and he knows he's better than that, so he needs to show that he's better than that. Otto Porter, 8 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. This is the last play I'm going to talk about. Otto Porter, he's been struggling the first 2 games. The last 2 games, he's kind of picked himself up a little bit, which is very good to see if you're an Otto Porter fan, or if you want him to at least contribute until he decides to leave or we resign him, whatever the case may be with Otto Porter. The only thing I can ask with Otto Porter is that he performs consistently at a good level. At the end of the day, I know that injuries will affect Otto Porter. I know he's that type of guy, and I don't know how often we're going to see Otto Porter play for this team, because there could be another injury on the way. Who knows? We don't know anything about that situation. But Otto Porter is someone that can contribute to us when he's healthy, can contribute to us when he's feeling confident, when he's feeling ready to play. And as many games as we see from Otto Porter, that's all I can ask for. All I want is for him to come off of that bench and contribute with his scoring, contribute with his rebounding and his defense. And I don't think that was the worst performance I've seen from Otto Porter today. Simple as that. I've seen worse performances from him this season. This one was definitely not a bad performance from Otto Porter. And hopefully, with more game time under his belt, feeling a little bit better, a little bit more healthy, a little bit more fit, we could see even better performances from him in the future, and only time will tell after that. That is the individual performers we are going to be discussing for the Chicago Bulls. There are a bunch of other people that played, but not terrific games from a lot of them. And now we move on to the must improve. There are 2 people that I need to target for must improve especially. 2 people that played 24 minutes and 28 minutes consecutively or separately, and both of them did not have terrific games. So I'm going to target them, and hopefully we can see them pick it up in the next one. First things first, Patrick Williams, 24 minutes played today, 2 points, 3 rebounds. He got blocked a lot of the time. I can't excuse his aggressiveness. He was someone that was aggressive today, but his shots weren't falling. So at the end of the day, there's not really that much else I could say about Patrick Williams. I thought everywhere else he was fine. He was a decent defensive player today. He did play aggressively. That's about it. Again, when he makes his shots, I'm not complaining about Patrick Williams' game today. Put it that way. If every shot that he took was a make, I'm not complaining. But unfortunately, that's not how the game works. He missed a lot of those shots, and it looks like he had a bad game. And it wasn't terrible, but I know he could do better, and I know he could be more efficient with his scoring. Consistency, he's a rookie. He's going to have bad games. He's going to have good games. He had a career high last game. So again, this is just how a rookie is going to develop. Good games and the bad games. Take them all in, learn from each and every single game that you have, and you will become a consistent player. And I really think he'll become a very, very, very good player for the Chicago Bulls. And Kobe White, 28 minutes played, 4 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound. For 28 minutes played, to only have 4 points, to not really be super aggressive, and to miss some shots, it's upsetting, because Kobe White at the moment is probably our go-to bench player. That is how it is. If he comes off the bench, he's the go-to guy. So 4 points is very upsetting for me. I know Wendell Carter had a decent game and Otto Porter had a decent game, and both of those players really picked things up from that bench. But Kobe White should be doing a lot more with 28 minutes played in this game. So just not his game, not his night. Again, a second-year player. The inconsistencies are still going to arise from Kobe White. He's going to have good and bad games. I hope he takes this on board. I hope he realizes the things that he's done today and how he can fix them. Because at the end of the day, no one wants to have a bad game, but it happens. And for Kobe White, it happened today. And thankfully, we didn't need Kobe White or Patrick Williams to have terrific games. But next game, we just might need them to step up. So hopefully they'll be ready when their name is called upon. And that's how we're going to get consistency out of players, by calling on their name and seeing if they're ready to step up to the occasion. Those are the must improves, and obviously the player of the game. If you don't pick Zach LaVine today, you're never picking Zach LaVine. Put it that way. To only do that in three quarters, play 31 minutes today, to be fair, a lot of minutes, but he was super effective in today's game. So I'm very, very happy with Zach LaVine's performance. 40 points. It's always good to see your leading scorer go off, and he had a tremendous game. Of course, he doesn't always need to have 40 points. I think we've learned that. That's the biggest lesson I've probably taken out of the Chicago Bulls all season. Zach LaVine doesn't need 40 points for us to win games. But on some nights, that is exactly what we need. It's not always going to be the case. We don't need Zach LaVine to average 40 points and 2 assists every single night. But some nights we might need that. I feel like tonight was a night we needed that, because there were a lot of people that did struggle in today's game that I didn't mention that played significant minutes. So hopefully those players pick it up. I'm sure they know who they are. But Zach LaVine picked it up for them in today's game. And hopefully we see better performances all the way around from this team. The Bulls' record is 18-20. We are now 2 games for 500. We retaliated from our from the starting 2 games of the second half of the season. Very poor starting 2 games. And to be honest, games where if we won, we're above 500. It's as simple as that. If we beat that trap game against the Sixers, which I think was a golden opportunity, we beat that team against the Heat with no Bam Adebayo, we could be over 500, or we could be 500. I'm pretty sure we'll be 1 game over 500 if my math is correct, which most of the time it's not. But those 2 games were winnable games for the Bulls, and we did very poorly. And now we're back where we started, pretty much 2 games away from 500. The next game is against the San Antonio Spurs. According to my knowledge, San Antonio will not have LaMarcus Aldridge and will not have DeMar DeRozan in that game against the Chicago Bulls. This is, once again, same with the Philadelphia 76ers with no Joel Embiid and no Ben Simmons. This game against the Spurs is a trap game. All games that are considered trap games for me, for the Bulls, are teams that are lower in the standings than us, or teams that are missing their best players. That's what a trap game defines for me. This is a trap game at its finest, but the Chicago Bulls need to learn how to win these games. We've done it in the first half of the season. We beat teams like the Rockets. We beat teams like the Timberwolves. We beat teams like the Detroit Pistons. We beat teams like, even to an extent, the higher up teams that we still think we should beat, like the Knicks. We've done decently. The Magic as well. We've won games like this. We need to learn how to do it consistently, because in all those games that we've won, there have been a few games where have been lower standings for us that we have lost. So this game against the Spurs is a very important game in my opinion. A game that will define how good we'll be the second half of the season. This is a game with no DeRozan, no LaMarcus Aldridge, short-staffed Spurs team that I don't think are doing terrifically well without those 2 players playing. So this is a perfect opportunity for the Bulls. But we've already seen perfect opportunities can get squashed and dealt with very quickly. So the Bulls need to make sure they're up for this game. Bring that energy, bring that focus. You're going to have a break before you go to Denver. Just bring everything you have to this game and leave nothing on the floor and get that win for us. And we can see where we go from there. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Have a wonderful and safe day, Chicago Bulls fans. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Enjoy this win. Look, we have a back-to-back tomorrow. You're not going to have too much time to enjoy this victory. But we got revenge over the OKC Thunder tonight after what they did to us in the first game. One of the most embarrassing games I've seen from the Chicago Bulls in my life was against that OKC Thunder game. We got our revenge. So be happy with that. Be satisfied with that. But satisfaction only goes a short way because we do have a game tomorrow and it's a reset from there. Focus on the Spurs, everything on the Spurs, and we'll see what happens with that game. Take care and peace.